This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Monday, March 22nd, 2010, and this is episode 697 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Mike Scopa, a senior feature writer and blogger for allears.net. Welcome, Mike.
Fireflies up here.
It's tough to be a bug. Flick.
Tough to be a bug. Flick.
Very good. And also joining us on today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Welcome, Mike.
Matt, if Len was here, I think he would say, you know, the world don't move to the beat of just one drum.
That's a Van Halen reference. I don't know what it is, but...
No, it's not.
It's not a Van Halen song?
What might be right for you may not be right for some. Oh, Len would be so disappointed in you.
I got nothing.
It's from Different Strokes. It takes different strokes to move the world. You would not even.
That wasn't
born.
on Nick at Night when I was growing up.
Nick at Night? That was on Channel 4 when I was growing up. That's like that was on the Retro Channel.
That's right. I feel like that scene from Back to the Future where he's like, "Oh, I saw it in a rerun." And the kid goes, "What's a rerun?"
What's a rerun? Rerun was from What's Happening.
What's happening now?
Yeah,
what you talking about, Willis?
All right, on today's show, we're doing resort recommendations. You know, a lot of times, I'm sure you guys all get the same question from a lot of people. We're going to Walt Disney World. What's the best resort? And of course, the answer to that is there is no answer to that question. You have to go more specific. And so I thought we would go and give some situations, and we, the panel, would respond to which resorts we think would be best for that situation. Hopefully, that can perhaps help some of you out there who are looking to figure out, quote, what is the best resort given your situation. So we're going to start out with, let's go with a couple, 2 people, no children, and possibly looking for romance. So you get 2 angles. One is the romantic angle, and one is like, the Fred Hazelton, Henry Work couple that goes down there, and are, just there as friends, we think.
Wow.
Not there's anything wrong with that. And then, so platonic and romantic. So, Scopa, what comes to mind? You pick whichever one you like to start with.
Okay, Matt, we're not taking into consideration economics.
No, economics is not in the equation since it'd be an infinite amount of possibilities there in that case. But, I trust your judgment to, obviously not just pick, Grand Floridian's perfect for everybody.
Foolish boy. Okay. Romantic. I would say I'm going to go with 2 resorts. The first one I'm going to go with is the Port Orleans French Quarter. And I'll tell you why. Because I think that there is a lot of atmosphere along the Pascagoula. Yeah.
Tony Saragusa played for the Jets, I think.
That's right. and he wasn't that romantic. But I think that I just think that the theme is very nice, very romantic. It's a nice resort to walk around at night. I think it's pretty neat. And you can walk over to Riverside, and I think it's pretty romantic. The other one that I would go with is I would stay away from the Epcot resorts because I just think it's too noisy over there. I would say I'm gonna go with Polynesian.
It's a good one. I was thinking that as well, Mike. I think it's good to have the moderate and deluxe options there. Nothing wrong with what you said about Port Orleans. I think Port Orleans is a great resort. I would think if you're trying to impress your lady friend, I would probably say that at Port Orleans Riverside, based purely on theme and nothing else, the not Alligator Bayou, but Magnolia Bend would be better. Yeah. That whole Gone with the Wind thing always gets women for some reason, but I think French Quarter is obviously very nice as well. But Polynesian, I really think, is if you want to spend a little extra money over there, it's such a wonderfully decorated resort, great amenities, great location. I mean, it's really going to wow whoever's staying there. I mean, even if I'm staying there, I would be wowed by it. So it's definitely, I agree with you on that one. Newell, what do you think?
I would agree with Mike. I love the setting of the Polynesian. There is no more romantic resort on the property than the Polynesian, I think.
It's really hard to beat. I mean, I was thinking maybe Beach Club at first when I first asked the scope of this question. Then Mike rose or brought about the noise issue, and I totally agree. I think that is a good point.
And I think the Beach Club also has the noise issue from the boardwalk. So that's kind of that knocks out those two. The Polynesian is just something you don't feel like you're in Florida. You feel like you're in this tropical island. It really changes the setting of where you are, in my opinion.
And if you're really go ahead, Scott. Sorry.
I was going to say, Matt, you can sit on a swing and you can see the water pageant. You can sit on the swing at night. You can watch the water pageant, and then you can watch the fireworks from Magic Kingdom, be it Wishes or whatever Nightastic is going to bring us. And the music is piped in near the volcano pool, and it's just a very, very nice place because. When you think of romance, you think of at the end of the day, you want to wind down. And it's one of those places where you can do that. Like Mike said, beach club, yacht club, boardwalk, very nice indeed, but very noisy too.
Yeah. I was going to say the only other thing, if you're looking for really like to get away from it all and try to be as quiet as possible, you're looking for you don't really want to see other human beings or be aware of their existence. I mean, you might have to give honorable mention to Saratoga Springs or Old Key West because those resorts are really more spread out, and they give you a lot of. It seems like it's very quiet at those resorts because of the immense size of the resort. So the buildings are spread apart; they're not as close together. I find that is one thing. But what about a couple? Just two people going, not looking for romance. Maybe just some friends going there on a trip. You and Newell are going down on a trip together and you're sharing a room. Where would you stay? Where would you recommend that you stay?
Mike, I'm guessing that we're going to stay at Pop Century.
Yeah, I would say Pop or Riverside. One of those two.
Yep.
Riverside having much nicer landscape.
Yep.
But Pop also being that kind of fun, festive kind of place. So that I agree with either one of those two.
Or an All-Star, maybe All-Star movies.
Absolutely. The value resorts add that nice festive, fun kind of. Here we are. We're at Disney. It's lighthearted. It's not too fancy. It's not too stuffy. It gets you in a festive mood, I think.
All right, let's move on to people going solo. And this is obviously many of our listeners go down to Walt Disney World solo, and there's a lot of different thoughts on which resort is going to be best for that. So, Newell, as someone who goes down predominantly solo quite often, as your wife has to work quite a bit of times, what resort really stands out to you as great for solo travelers?
I like to stay at Pop when I'm solo. And that's more of a financial thing because I hate to, spend DVC points if I'm going by myself. Yeah. So for me, and it's also, like I said, it's that festive. I'm here alone, but I'm still going to have fun. I still want to have fun. So Pop, any of the All-Stars, any of the value resorts, really for me.
Yeah, I would agree, Matt. I would say value, but I think a woman may prefer to have may prefer a deluxe over a moderate or a value, only because you've got, as we had heard in the previous show we did with Aaron had mentioned something, and with the deluxe hotels you've got more. You're walking more inside at night than you are outside, and so that may be something to consider. But I think that I like to echo Mike's sentiment, saying that if you're going by yourself, you don't want to waste money, and I'd rather go to a value. And the other thing is that if you go to a value, you could probably spend more days down there than if you had gone to a moderate or a deluxe. So I'd say value for sure, Pop or All-Star.
It's funny you say that, Mike, because I do agree that if Mary went down by herself, that she would want to pamper herself a little bit and maybe stay at a nicer resort. Even though I'm fine with a value, she may want to have, a spa treatment or something, and she may want to stay at the beach club or something a little more fancier. So it depends on, I think guys are pretty happy almost anywhere they are.
Yeah, I think guys are more accepting of a Spartan type room in terms of it being. You're right, Mike. A lot of times we talk about people who go solo, and we always recommend the lower resorts simply because we say, for lack of a better way, it's a waste almost. And a lot of people say, well, no, why is it a waste? Why shouldn't I be able to stay at the Contemporary? To which I say,
you should.
Yeah, if you want to, why not?
When I'm out, if you're out, 15 hours a day, Why am I paying? Like when we did Mouse Fest 2008, the last Mouse Fest, I stayed at the Beach Club, and the room was fantastic. But one of the things that killed me was that we were out. I only was in the room for like 5 hours a day to sleep, and that was it.
I was going to add one thing, though. I think you hit the nail on the top of the head right there, Mike. But one thing I wanted to add is, in addition to the value resorts, which we all, I think, agree with, I would also add and it kind of pains me to say it, but the Swan and Dolphin Resort. Because it's kind of a happy medium. As a solo traveler, you might be looking to indulge a little bit. Maybe you're going to go have a few drinks. Maybe you're going to during Food and Wine. You're looking for that Epcot resort, but you're not willing to pay, like $200, $300, $400 a night. If you can get a decent rate at the Swan and Dolphin, it's not a bad idea. The only problem with it is you got to pay the resort fee and the parking fee, which annoys me to no end.
Yeah.
But at the same thing,
Matt, you bring up a good point. I'm wondering if my choices would be different at different times of the year.
That's fair.
Like for instance, Food and Wine, I may prefer to be at Beach or Yacht Club or Boardwalk or Swan or Dolphin. So that's something to consider too, time of the year.
Yeah. Let's move on to a family of 4 with young children.
Wow. Definitely Pop should be considered. And the other consideration I'm going to say either the Caribbean because of the pool area or Port Orleans French Quarter because of the pool area.
I think you're right about the pool, Mike, but I think you got the wrong place. In fact, you're on the wrong side of town because I'm saying All-Star Vacation Home. I know we got to mention they're a sponsor of the show, but I honestly believe that if you get one of those houses that has their own private pool, as a parent, you cannot overestimate the value of that because I think that you're gonna love it, and that's a huge reason. Not to mention the space you're gonna get, and 4 people in one room, regardless of their age, is always going to be a tough thing to do. And obviously to get that kind of amenities, never mind the pool, just kind of to get space at Disney World Resort, I think is going to be cost prohibitive. But I like the rates you can get at an All-Star Vacation Home and the space, I think, and the amenities that really do it for me. So that's why I'm going to go with that one. What do you think, Noel?
Wow, that's tough. I like the idea of having a themed room, which you get at All-Star Vacation Homes, and what you get with the values. So if I'm going, or even like I said earlier, Caribbean Beach with the Pirate Room, with young children, I like the idea of a themed room. So where Pop is very they have all the large Walkman and the all the toys and stuff. That's kind of fun. And like Matt said, with the All-Star Vacation Home, all the rooms are themed, so all the children's rooms have a theme to them depending on the house. So that's also that kind of brings your vacation back to your room. So it's not the typical room you have at home. It's something different. It may be painted like an ocean, or it may be the theming walking to the main building over at Pop. You see all the little gadgets and stuff. So to me, that adds on to the theme parks.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that a lot of the amenities that you get with it put it over the top for me. And also with young children, I know one of the big reasons you stay on Disney World properties for extra magic hours. And obviously, if you're in an All-Star Vacation, you're foregoing that. And one thing that one reason I think it's best for younger children is because I think younger children have a bigger issue with staying up late. They're usually early, or depending on your kids, maybe they have a problem waking up early. But regardless, if you're going to knock out one of the extra magic hour options completely because of one of those situations, or possibly both, an All-Star Vacation Home, I think, makes more sense, because if you're not taking advantage of extra magic hours at all, that's a major reason to stay on Disney World properties. That may sway people more so to that than one of the other resorts. Let's flip it a little bit. Let's go to family of 4 with older children. So maybe family 4 or 5, 2, 3 older children. So we're going to classify that as under 18, under 20, over 12.
All right. So now you need to just completely forget the values, because you just don't have enough room in those resorts. So now you start considering, you can start considering the moderates if you're talking about a family of 4. And now, Matt, if you're talking a family of 5, and we're talking teenagers, Now I'm beginning to lean more towards what you had said earlier about all-star vacation homes, because I think that you're probably going to get a better deal than you might get on property with 5. Because if you're dealing with 5, then you might have to go to something like the Fort Wilderness Caverns, or you might have to go to adjoining rooms in either a value or a moderate. So when you're talking this type of family profile, I then become I'm now joining you and saying, yeah, all-star vacation homes.
Oh, but the funny thing is I think I left the boat because I think for older children, I think it's more, I would have more hesitation, Mike, about an all-star vacation home, because I think older children, they can stay up until, the next day almost, you know what I mean? And if you're talking about extra magic hours, especially evening ones, I think that's going to be much more of an incentive to stay on property, because I know that for older children, I mean, the prospect of being able to stay up in the parks, you get a day where the Magic Kingdom closes, at 10, 11 o'clock, and the park doesn't really close with extra magic hours until 1, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, now you're dealing with, I think for teenagers, that would be a huge thing, because I'm sure they would really relish in that kind of situation. I do agree with you that the space might be enough reason for me just alone, because like you said, there's really no way that you could squeeze even just 2 adults and 2 older children in a value resort. I don't think that's really practical. But I did like your idea for the cabin at Fort Wilderness. I thought that was a good idea. You're going to get that can hold up to 6 people theoretically, and you're going to get a lot more space for it. What do you think, Newell?
DVC, and you don't have to be a DVC member to stay at DVC. You can pay cash. You can use stay on cash or buy.
You mean like rent points?
Like rent points from a DVC member. There you get the best of both worlds. You get on-property resort amenities, and you also get the space.
Absolutely. I was thinking, Old Key West or Saratoga, again, resorts that have a lot of the big rooms. And, those resorts tend to be a little bit cheaper than their deluxe brethren. It's not like you're not going to be on the same cost as, the Contemporary or Poly or anything like that. It's going to be among the cheaper of the deluxe resorts, so that's going to play into your favor a little bit. One last category I think we're going to hit upon, and that is the indulgence trip. So I'm not so much about people, but now we're talking about the resort. That one vacation where you got to say, you know what, got a raise, ran into some money. You're looking really to enjoy your time there and really kind of live it up a little bit. So what do you think, Newell? What would be the resort for you that you would recommend for staying if you really want to, move on up to the east side, so to speak?
Wow. If I got a big tax refund or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good point.
I think I would have to go with the Beach Club. If money wasn't really an object, and yeah. I would Beach Club or the Poly, with the Poly being the more pricier. So I would go Beach Club first, Poly second.
Yeah, I like the Poly. In fact, I would say if you're really going to stay at the Poly, go for the concierge lounge. Go for the concierge service over there. Really, if there's one resort that is concierge the best, it's going to be the Polynesian Resort. And that one is really going to do it for me in terms of if you really want to feel like you're living like a king at Walt Disney World. That's the resort that does it for me. Scopa, what do you think?
Well, Matt, it's funny because I actually had an indulgent type of vacation back. I think it was 2003 or 2004. I spent a couple of nights at the Animal Kingdom in a Savannah room, and then I spent 2 full weeks at the Polynesian. And that was it. And that was a very, very enjoyable vacation. I liked the idea of being close to the Magic Kingdom on that trip. I was, of course, into running, and I loved running around the Polynesian in the morning. It was nice to be on the monorail system. That had a lot to do with my decision. You could say that, well, a lot of people could, would pick like Mike would pick at Beach Club. I think Beach Club is also a fine example too. I liked the Poly because it was on the monorail. I loved the theme, and it was just something that it was probably a once in a lifetime deal. I don't know if I could ever do that again.
I think one resort I wanted to mention, I just thought of it now. You reminded me, Mike, about the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and I was thinking, boy, we kind of passed over that resort. I was trying to think which resort which category that would fit best into. And I'm thinking Animal Kingdom Lodge, Savannah View, and that's the key. Savannah View would be great for young children. I mean, you could just park them out there and let them watch the animals all day, and that would be like, I mean, that's better than TV for them. You know, they could just really take that in. Also, you know, for a nice romantic trip, I think also Animal Kingdom Lodge. But I would say again, Savannah View. Otherwise, there's no point in staying there. I hate to say that.
Right,
But
I agree.
make sure you get that. Good.
Okay.
Great. Well, that's it for us today. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the WDW Today website at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.